might be harming your reputation without even realizing it. Some habits appear harmless, almost invisible at first, but over time they gradually erode the respect that people once had for you. And the worst part is, you could be repeating these behaviors every single day, blind to the damage they cause in both your personal and professional life. In today's video, I'm going to reveal 4 toxic habits that are silently working against your image. If you truly want to be remembered, respected, and taken seriously, then you must recognize and eliminate each one of them. But before we begin, I owe you a special thank you. This channel, Anonymous Achiever, only exists because of you. Each comment, every like, and every time you share a video gives us the motivation to continue producing content with even greater depth and purpose. Watching this community reflect, grow, and transform has been one of the most rewarding parts of this journey. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for walking with us along this path of self-knowledge and daily evolution. I am truly grateful. Now, respect doesn't vanish by chance. It fades as the result of small actions or even silent omissions that, little by little, accumulate a heavy cost. And if there is one philosophy that helps us clearly see and correct these patterns, it is Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome, once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." That lesson applies here too. Focus more on your own actions than on the words of others. Seneca also reminded us that the highest sign of wisdom is the ability to observe ourselves honestly. That is exactly what we will do here today. We will look inward, without masks, without excuses. We'll identify 4 habits that appear small but actually have the power to corrode both your image and your self-confidence. I've made every one of these mistakes myself, and it was only when I began applying Stoic principles consistently in my everyday life that I started to see genuine change, more balance, more respect, and more clarity in my relationships. So if you're ready for this reflection, grab your coffee, make yourself comfortable, and prepare. Because what comes next may be uncomfortable, but it will also set you free. Habit 1: gossiping, the silent poison of relationships. The first behavior that destroys respect is perhaps the most common, yet the most underestimated: gossiping. Gossip may look harmless at first glance. It seems like casual small talk, a social bond, or just a light distraction in the middle of routine. But here is the unfiltered truth. Whoever gossips to you will eventually gossip about you. And the moment you allow yourself to join in, even without bad intentions, you begin sending out a powerful negative message. I cannot be trusted. I cannot keep a secret. I thrive on the failures of others. I remember back in my college days, gossip felt like part of the environment itself. Conversations constantly revolved around other people's lives. It became a kind of collective pastime, discussing who was with whom, laughing at someone's decisions, speculating about rumors. There was one classmate, Sarah, who was always reserved. One day, word leaked out that she had a crush on another student. Within no time, this private detail had spread everywhere, and soon it became a running joke. Sarah eventually withdrew, silently pulling away, and her quiet exit left a mark on all of us who saw it happen. That's when it hit me. Gossip is never just an innocent conversation. It always leaves a scar on someone. The Stoics, especially Epictetus, warned against this habit. If you hear something, don't repeat it. If it doesn't involve you, don't speak about it. If it adds no value, don't even listen. Gossip shrinks you, and people around you notice, even if they say nothing. They begin to wonder, if this person talks about others in this way, what do they say about me? To earn respect, you must make a conscious daily choice. Refuse to pass along what doesn't build up. Choose conversations that elevate, that inspire, that explore ideas instead of people. As the old proverb goes, small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, and great minds discuss ideas. Every single day, you decide which kind of mind you want to cultivate. Habit 2: being unreliable, the word that loses its value. The second habit that erodes respect faster than almost anything else is unreliability. We live in a world where everyone promises but very few deliver. We promise we'll be there, we promise we'll help, we promise we'll change. Yet when the time comes, excuses, distractions, or silence replace action. And here's the brutal truth. When your word loses its value, you lose value along with it. I used to think being flexible and spontaneous was a strength. I would make plans and then cancel them. I'd say, of course I'll be there, but on the day I'd choose to do something else instead. One moment in particular opened my eyes. A close friend, Emily, spent weeks preparing her birthday party, organizing every detail, planning the guest list, decorating with care. I promised I wouldn't miss it. But when the day arrived, I got caught up with something else. By the time I realized the party had already begun, I sent a rushed text trying to explain. She replied politely, but her words were cold. And in that moment, I knew I hadn't just missed a party, I had damaged her trust. The warmth in our friendship faded because she saw the truth. My word meant little. For the Stoics, the integrity of one's word was a pillar of character. Seneca wrote, "Nothing is more valuable than the commitment of a person of integrity. Your word is your contract." Reliability isn't built through impressive promises, but through consistent actions. Arriving on time, responding when you said you would, meeting deadlines, and being transparent about your limits. And most of all, it means being honest with yourself. If you know you cannot do something, don't commit. If something unexpected arises, communicate early and with respect. People don't expect perfection from you. They expect consistency. In professional life especially, unreliability can be devastating. You can be skilled, intelligent, even charming, but if you don't do what you say you will, eventually you'll be excluded from serious opportunities. Because at its core, respect is born from trust, and trust is born from repeated integrity in even the smallest details. Habit 3. Interrupting others when your anxiety speaks louder. Sometimes, losing respect doesn't happen through big mistakes, but through tiny gestures that go unnoticed by us, yet leave a lasting impression. One of the most silent but damaging is interrupting others while they speak. It seems like a small thing. After all, who hasn't done it? Often we think we're just adding to the conversation, being enthusiastic or contributing. But interrupting carries a hidden weight. Every interruption sends out this message. What I have to say is more important than what you are saying right now. And when repeated, that message erodes respect. At the start of my career, I was guilty of this constantly. I was eager, full of ideas, desperate to prove my worth. In meetings, I would rarely let people finish. If I disagreed, I cut them off. If I had a suggestion, I jumped in. If I thought I could add something, I interrupted. Until one day, my manager pulled me aside. Calmly but firmly, she told me, "You are always ready to speak, but rarely ready to listen." Her words hit me like lightning because she was right. I wasn't truly listening. I was only waiting for my turn to talk. That isn't enthusiasm, it's egocentrism in disguise. The Stoics regarded listening as a form of wisdom. Epictetus, who began life as a slave but became one of history's greatest philosophers, taught, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so that we may listen more and speak less." From that day forward, I started practicing what I call Stoic listening. Every time I felt the urge to interrupt, I paused, took a breath, and asked myself, does this really need to be said now, or can I wait and listen to the end? That simple shift changed everything. When I stopped interrupting, people began to see me as calmer, more balanced, more trustworthy. Because true listening isn't a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. If you want to earn respect, practice intentional silence. Allow others to finish. Listen with presence. When you truly hear people, you deepen trust, strengthen bonds, and gain something rare, consideration. Habit 4. Complaining excessively when negativity becomes your identity. We've all complained about the traffic, about the weather, about our boss. Complaining feels like a release, almost therapeutic. But when it becomes a habit, it stops being a relief and instead turns into a burden. One that you carry and then spread to everyone around you. Constant negativity poisons the environment. People begin pulling away without fully knowing why. And it's not because you're a bad person. It's simply because being near someone who only points out problems without taking action drains their energy. I've lived this cycle myself. There was a time when everything became an excuse to complain. If it rained, I complained. If it was hot, I complained. If someone wronged me, I replayed it in my mind for days. Until one day, a friend told me with brutal honesty, "Man, it seems like nothing is ever good enough for you. Have you noticed that?" At first, I got defensive, but his words echoed in my head for days. and they hurt because they were true. I had slipped into the role of the victim. And the problem with living as a victim is that you surrender your power. The Stoics taught something vital. Never waste your energy complaining about reality. Transform what you can and accept with serenity what you cannot. That is the heart of Stoicism. The rain won't stop because you complain. Traffic won't move faster because you fume at the wheel. But your attitude, that can change everything. From the moment I began replacing complaints with action or acceptance, life grew lighter. If an environment was toxic, I left it. If something went wrong, I searched for the lesson. If no solution existed, I breathed deeply and moved on. This didn't make me naive or blindly optimistic. It made me freer. And the people around me noticed the difference. Want to test if you're caught in the complaining cycle? Ask yourself, do I talk more about problems or solutions? Do my conversations drain me or energize me? Do I practice gratitude more often than I fall into complaints? The mind works like a radar. It finds exactly what you train it to find. Feed it negativity, and the world looks like chaos. Train it to look for what's constructive. And suddenly you see opportunities where before you only saw obstacles. Respect is also born from the energy you carry, and no one respects someone who is always sinking under negativity. So the next time you feel the urge to complain, pause and ask yourself, is this under my control? If yes, take action. If not, accept it. That one question, practiced with discipline, can free both your mind and your energy. If you've made it this far, congratulations. It shows you're willing to do the hardest work of all, looking within. Because gaining the respect of others always begins with respecting yourself. Today we've reflected on 4 habits that silently sabotage your image. Gossiping destroys the trust that others place in you. Being unreliable weakens the value of your word. Interrupting shows ego and impatience, and constant complaining drives people away while trapping you in negativity. The good news? Every one of these habits can be replaced. With Stoic discipline, with integrity, with active listening, and with conscious action. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." I would add, the best way to earn respect is to be unlike the majority, to be someone who radiates calm, who inspires trust, who carries presence. And if you commit to changing just one habit at a time, one day at a time, you'll begin to notice subtle yet powerful changes in the way the world responds to you. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.